Hold on this computer. Okay, here we go. Lifeforce Energy Part 2. So a little recap. That's what we're going to kind of start with is a little recap on last week. We were talking more so about um, the inner or outer source of Lifeforce Energy, outer energy. So a brief recap on things, you know, energy itself, Lifeforce energy itself, everything is made up of energy. These bullet points here, I don't think are really new to anyone, especially if you were in there last week or you watched the video from last week. Nothing really is new. It's new under the sun. Everything is made up of energy. Energy does not dissipate. So if something dies or disappears or goes away, that energy does not dissipate, it just transforms. Like when someone dies, their physical body transforms back into nutrients for the earth. Their soul, spirit, and essence transforms into a different form, not just a physical form. Their consciousness transforms. The conscious mind fades away and no longer is existent in the same way, but it also transforms. When a flower dies, it transforms. When each of us, every moment, we transform from moment to moment. We're different from the way we were yesterday. The energy we hold today is completely different than the energy we held yesterday. And another thing really key to remember is that energy is neutral. Real quick, out of who all watched that additional video that I put into the Discord attached to last month's lesson on energy transmutation. Anybody watch it on energy transmutation? Anyone do the exercise for energy transmutation? Yeah, if not, go back and do it after this class. Watch that video. Do that at the very least once a week. Ideally, you do it every day. These exercises, and so because it's cool to have the information, but without application, it doesn't turn into knowledge. It doesn't really do much for you. It can be very fascinating and exciting and fun. It's intriguing and things, but said without actual application, it's not really gonna. You can't transmute the energy without doing the work. So so I highly suggest that, and especially because we're gonna have last week there was like one exercise. This week there's gonna be three exercises. Next week there's going to be two more exercises. The week after there's going to be one or two more exercises. So there's going to be a lot of different exercises, and if you don't start practicing them until the very end, it's going to feel maybe overwhelming. Whereas if you spent the last 4 weeks practicing one, and then the next 3-4 weeks you're going to be practicing these couple here, and you just kind of build it up a little bit at a time. Then by the end, I'm not saying you have to do the first one all the time throughout the whole next couple months, but with each one practice those for that next series, and then use the other as a toolbox. But like this week you're getting 3 more exercises, but you've already would have had practice with the other one, where now that's just a tool for you to use whenever you feel you need to transmute the energy. And these next 3-4 weeks, 2-3 weeks, spend time practicing these, to where once we get to next part 3, and you get new exercises, you have practiced those enough to where you're pretty adequate with how they function, how they form, and how you move through them, to where you can just utilize them as you need, to where by the time we get through the end of this whole series, you have a plethora of different life force exercises to do different things for rejuvenating the body, revitalizing the body, reanimating the body, transmuting energy, transferring energy, healing yourself in whatever way needed, all type of different things. Just cultivating a surge of energy, different things like that. So yes, that's kind of one of the benefits to actually putting these together and utilizing. So with that, I was bringing that up because the next bullet point, energy is neutral. Oh, just as a reminder, energy is neutral. It is not, positive energy or negative energy. People talk about, they got bad vibes. I mean, yeah, they've charged that energy in a specific way, but the energy itself is neutral. It's like money. You can buy money to pay a doctor to save someone's life, or you can, use money to, you know, destroy a whole community, poison a whole community. So, the money itself didn't do anything wrong. The money is just a form of energy. It's the intention behind it, the charge, how the person charged that energy when they sent it out, charge that money when they sent it out. So that's going to be, a key thing to remember is that energy is. Oops, one second. Okay, so yeah, everything is energy. Energy is neutral. So with the transmuting of the energy from the exercise, then you'll kind of have an understanding of what that would experience would be, and how the energy that you had before you started the exercise feels different. So you've changed how the energy is charged. The energy came in charged one way, and then you switched it up, and now it's charged an entirely different way. And so that's going to be very, very big on how you understand and experience for yourself that energy is neutral, and it changes up in that way. So a recap from last week. So what we have here on the next slide. So there's two sources of energy: inner energy and outer energy. Last week we talked about the energy, life force energy that we receive from outside of ourselves. The solar energy that we receive, uh, the solar energy that comes through us directly through like sun gazing and things. And some people are kind of like, oh man, I ain't trying to do that sun gazing. I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years, looking directly at it. Of course, within 10 minutes of the sunrise and sunset, I would suggest to anybody only 10, 20 seconds. I do it for 20 minutes, anytime within the last hour, 45 minutes. And then oftentimes I do it during the day. But even if you're someone who is kind of afraid of that and you can't really find a way to get through that, or don't want to, or feel that that's not true, that's fine with me. It's fine with you. You can still do it and just close your eyes while you're looking at the sun, and just use your eyelids as a filter. Then you don't have to have any fear of anything. But whether you're getting the solar energy directly, or you're getting it secondarily through the plants that you're eating and the water that you're drinking, or you're getting it tertiarily through the animals that you're eating that eat the plants that eat the sun, or however you're getting it, is some sort of that. Um, and so now I want to talk about inner life force energy. Because you have a whole different source of energy. You have an inner sun. As we understand through the dream interpretation masterclass and things, we've come to understand that the sun represents superconscious awareness up here, superconscious awareness, and so that is your source. it's a source of your inner energy. It's through the superconscious mind, the energy that comes from the superconscious mind. So that's what we're going to talk about today and go deeper into today's lesson. It's that inner source of energy and what it is, how it functions, how to utilize it, and what to do with it to cause it to grow. So move on here to the next slide. Then we have the life force energy. The inner source of life force energy is going to come from our spirit, because as we just saw, the spirit is the vehicle that uses the superconscious mind. Our physical body uses the conscious mind, our soul uses the subconscious mind, and our spirit uses the superconscious mind. And so we'll get into a little bit more of the superconscious mind and things. And what's that? Oh yeah, that's next. Yeah, next slide we'll get into a little bit more on the superconscious mind and what that is. But here we go with this. The understanding that the spirit is the source of that. Let's go a little deeper to what spirit is. Spirit comes from the word spirare, spiritus, which means breath. And so our breath is our connection to our spirit. It's our breath is what ties our soul to the body. That's why, like, do y'all remember when we had those that breathing technique, that rhythmic breathing technique, and we did that one week? I remember that, how powerful that was. I don't remember anyone sharing this in the time that we did it. It was over the internet, so it wasn't quite as powerful and things. But when you're doing it for like 45 minutes, I've had plenty. Like the lady I was telling you, Marquez, about Tia, who's doing the podcast with us. She's the host of the podcast, Pilot. When she first did it, I ran her through the exercise. Uh, her ancestors came through. Her grandmother, aunt, and a few others, came through and helped guide her, and they've been helping guide her ever since. And that breath is going to be what connects you to your spirit and the spirit world and the other spirits within your group life that are here to assist you. And the Holy Spirit that is talked about is the whole breath. So when you understand that, then you can understand why it is a Trinity. So if we go back, it's a Trinity because it helps to unify the superconscious, the subconscious, and the conscious, to unify the physical body, the soul, and the spirit. So your breath, imagine a straight line up and down right here. That would, in the middle of this triangle, that would help symbolize it. Access, tunnel that is created through your breath. That's why a lot of times when you go through any kind of meditation and things, what's the first thing? What's the first thing they teach you to do in meditation? The very first thing you're going to do is breath, because that's going to be what connects you with that life force, or with that inner subconscious reality. So when we're working with the breath, that is going to help us with unifying all of our minds and uniting those with the body, soul, and spirit. So the superconscious mind, then, if the superconscious mind is what is the mind that's used by the spirit, then let's get into this. And the reason I'm really getting into going back to this slide that we had set up for the Dream Interpretation Masterclass, week 1, the structure of the mind, really breaking that down, is for the duty of the superconscious mind. So we understand, the third dimension is a dimension of length, width, length, height, width, and depth. Right? The fourth dimension is time. We're no longer limited and stuck in the present moment. We have the freedom to move throughout time, anywhere in time, at any time, at all times. Spirit, in the fifth dimension, using the superconscious mind, unlocks space. You are no longer locked in to this one space. That's why like this cosmic consciousness at the top is also called Buddha consciousness, uh, Christ consciousness, and they all focused on unity and love and universal love because their everyday regular consciousness is operating at such a high level within the fifth dimension that they understand I am you are I. We are all connected. We are all one. There is no space that separates us. The space is infinite, and we are each a piece of it. It's like your pinky thinking that it's different from your thumb. It's all you. But if you're only looking at things from the hands perspective, from the pinky's perspective, you're going to think all the five fingers are separate, all living a whole all different lives. The pinky is living a whole different life than the forefinger. The forefinger's doing all type of stuff, pointing stuff, touching stuff, pushing stuff, typing stuff, writing stuff. Pinky just sitting there relaxing, chill, living that cush life. But really it's all the same hand, it's all part of the same thing. So when you have that more elevated perspective, that's why the power of the superconscious mind is transcendence awareness. It allows you to have that more elevated awareness, and it's going to allow you to transcend these more limiting understandings. But anyways, like all things, universal law of duality applies to superconscious mind. And so the superconscious mind has a duty and a purpose. Just like the subconscious mind and conscious mind, the duty is the aggressive aspect of the superconscious mind, and the purpose is the receptive aspect of masculine and feminine aspect of this part of the mind. And so, we go over it a lot and talk about it a lot and understand, that receptive aspect of the superconscious mind, the feminine aspect of it, when a mother shows up in a dream, or a female teacher shows up in a dream, or a female boss or something, or a female doctor shows up in a dream, it's going to be representing that purpose, the blueprints, the way that it just holds the blueprint for your existence, that you have created. Just like a blueprint, the foreman ain't taking the blueprint out into the, when a construction is being done over a big building or any building, the foreman isn't taking the blueprint over to the plumbers to show them what they're doing wrong. No, because what happens if the foreman does that? Then the electricians on the other side of the building that need to check on something, they go to the office where the blueprint is and it ain't there. Then they're lost. Then production slows down or stops. So they go home like, well, ain't nothing we can do the rest of the day. Blueprint's gone. And so, it messes things up. So the blueprint stays there, waiting to receive these individuals' attention, you know, and kind of how that, just to reiterate, kind of how that looks for us is, when the reason the electricians may have went to go check the blueprint because they were running some wires and they ran into a room, and it seemed like, up till now, we knew what we were doing. We were running the wires correctly, already plugged in everything, but we went to go do these light switches over here. And right where we thought we were supposed to come out, there's these pipes, these plumbing pipes. Water pipes are in here. Some ventilation is there. Like, what's going on? I thought everything was going right, but something's off. Let me go check back with the blueprint and make sure I'm doing something right, or somebody else is messing up. Oh, okay. Nope. I had it on the other side of the door. Let me move these wires a little bit over to the other side of the door. That's where the light switches go. So it's like us in life. At times we're moving through life. It feels like we've been making the right choices, the right decisions, but things are coming up to where it's like, and I don't really know I feel lost because I feel like I've been doing the right things, but this ain't how it's supposed to go. Something's off here. So let me sit down and go within, meditate for a little bit, connect with my spirit, do some breathing, do some rhythmic breathing, 3-4 nights in a row, and go tap in and connect with the super conscious mind, connect with my spirit, connect with this blueprint. Let me go to it and access this blueprint that I've laid out for myself in my own life's plan to get more insight into what's really supposed to be going on. So that's kind of the receptive quality of it. But breaking that down just to get to the reason all of this is in here, the aggressive principle, masculine principle of the superconscious mind, which is to provide life force energy to the soul and physical body. The term spirit comes from spirare, which means breath, but spirare at the root word is the spire, inspire, transpire. And so our inspiration that comes from within when we are fulfilling that blueprint. That inspiration that we get is that life force energy, that surge of energy that we get, so that we have the energy available to us to fulfill and do the different things that are needed, to fulfill this blueprint that we do. Any questions so far? All right. Moving forward. Okay, so life force energy. We talked about the outer life force energy is that solar energy, but we need more than solar energy. Sunlight, food, and water is not enough. If sunlight, food, and water was enough, then they'd be down at the morgue putting the dead bodies in the sun and stuffing them with food and water. We need much more than that. It takes much more than that to create life. So life force energy is more than just this outer energy that we're receiving. It's also coming from within. So that inner life force energy, the life force energy from within, is essential. It is essential. It cannot be overlooked. It cannot be done away with. And even if you do die, and all you're doing is going within, so that's all you're left with. So it is essential, more essential than the sunlight, food, water, is that inner life force energy. So connect with it, understand it, see how the mechanics of it work, and I'm gonna give you some exercises and things to create experiences for yourself throughout the rest of these slides and things. But remember, you got to create this understanding and information for yourself, so that you can create, be a metaphysician, be a scientist with it, implement it into your life. Don't believe anything that's in here, really understand it and approach it from a very open, inquisitive mindset. Even though you do understand different principles and concepts that are being presented in this course, don't allow that to just completely control the perspective that you're approaching it from. Still be open to it. I may be wrong. You find your own insights. You determine what yourself, which to take with you and which to leave behind, and replace it with something greater. Okay. So energy moves off of intention. Energy moves off of intention. This is very important. Energy moves off of intention. That is why I could not present this course to you all without first making available the Keys to Success course. I mean, the Keys to Success course had to come first because they are the keys to success. Understanding your attention and willpower. Energy moves off of intention. Energy flows where the attention goes. So your attention and your willpower, your attention and will, but your attention, which is your concentration, which is your ability to control your attention, and willpower, which is the ability to control your will, are going to determine on how your energy moves. So if you want to work with your energy, you have to first have the skill sets of concentration and willpower, proper use of the willpower. And so hopefully you've continued to practice those exercises day in and day out. If not, pick them back up. It can go. I mean, as mentees, you got lifetime access to these courses. So go back and pick it up. Go review, go do a refresher, a review. Start re-implement a concentration exercise. You know, and so because that's going to determine how successful you are with these other exercises, how proficient you are with working with your own energy, transmuting your own energy, perceiving your own energy, to know what to transmute it into. So energy moves off intention. Should have put on here also, energy flows where the attention goes. What you put your attention on grows. So being able to hold your attention somewhere. If you're wanting to cultivate a lot of energy, we'll have the exercise that's gonna help you to do that today. If you want to be good at doing that, you need to be able to hold your attention somewhere. I mean, that Keys to Success course is vital. It's shown up last week. We talked about it, and some of these other the visualization. It was very vital to a lot of that. So I think I said it in that. That's why I put the keys to success first, because we can't really be proficient with this without that. So the next thing, breath helps to move the mental, emotional, and physical energy. Write that one down again. Breath helps to move the mental, emotional, physical energy. A lot of us, we stuck mentally. We just on a mental block, writer's block, or creator's block, author's block, all type of different things. That's the most common terms, but it can be in anywhere in life, just some sort of hang up you have on some sort of programming that's been implemented, and it's just you stuck in it. Emotional block. You know what I mean? We can't really process these emotions because we're stuffing them in the drawer. We're stuffing them in the closet and just hoping it don't open up. Because now we got to a point to where it's so stuffed up that even if we crack the door, it's flooded open. And it's a lot in there. You know what I mean? Stuffed away. Physical energy blockages. You know what I mean? It's a lot of blocked up, backed up shit. Literally. So breath helps to move all of that. You know what I mean? Physical energy, that rhythmic breathing, man. Anybody who's done it, they already know. I ain't got to tell you twice. You already know that rhythmic breathing is going to move that physical energy. It's going to just power through all those blocks in your physical energy meridians. Those energy meridians are going to open wide up. They're going to open wide up, and that energy is going to be free flowing. You do that. You know what I mean? That's why you have that tetanus where your hands and arms are locking up, your legs are locking up. Your first 8, 9, 10 times doing it. Because it's bringing all that tension within your body, deep within your body, to the surface, so that the energy can flow more freely, so that you can feel lighter, so that you can move more carefree in life. I mean, it's destined to happen. You breathe like that. It can't help but happen. You breathe like that. Especially you do it. We only did it once in here, and hopefully y'all, you got the video to kind of follow along. But hopefully you continue to do it on your own. I know Dee Dee is. She started out doing it like 4, 5, 6 times a week. Still does it regularly, but at the start, a lot did a lot for. It'll do a lot for you. It'll move that energy, that emotional energy. That rhythmic breathing. That rhythmic breathing is the number one best thing on this planet for dealing with trauma, for removing trauma, for processing. Not really, you don't even need to process it, but because that's not even what happens. But it does take it through a process so that it can be released. You can be free from it, break free from it. Ain't nothing better on the planet than that rhythmic breathing. For that, the mental blocks. The breath is going to help with the mental blocks. You get any anxiety and things, the breath is going to help anchor yourself into the present moment. You have some sort of programming or personal limitations going on. The breath is going to help you to lock in the new thoughts that will turn into beliefs as you transform that programming. Because the mind is meant to be programmed. It's just a matter of who's doing the programming. What programs are you running off of? Who was the author of those programs? Was it you? Because if not, it was definitely somebody else. Most of us in today's society, we run off of programs that we either got from the education system, from the television, or from the music. And the guiding intelligence behind all three of those is not in your benefit. The author of those programs are generally not in your benefit. So you have to, use your breath to help you move that, transform that energy, transmute that energy. Use the breath to move energy when needed or to rejuvenate and revitalize. At the very end of this, what we're going to get into is the rejuvenate and the revitalize. And so I'm going to start with the first two exercises to go through, okay? So this is a breathing technique to do whenever you the first one is going whenever you're feeling mentally tired. So as far as rejuvenating and revitalizing, that's what all three of these exercises are going to focus on: rejuvenation and revitalization. And so, your vitality life force vitality. If you are mentally tired, start with that one. If you are mentally tired, then what you're going to want to do is with both of these is you're going to breathe like this: a double inhalation, so meaning a quick inhale followed by another quick inhale, and then you're going to do a double exhalation. So that's what you're going to do. That's the breathing pattern that you're going to do. All right. And then with that, what you're going to do is tense and relax all of the muscles of your head and face. So, the best way you can. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe right away you can't really tense the muscles in the back of your head, but try. I mean, try to tense all the muscles in your whole entire head. So let's do it together for like 2 minutes. Maybe do it for like 5 minutes. We'll do it together for like 2 minutes. A minute and a half or something. So on the double inhale, you're tensing all the muscles of your head. And then on the double exhale, you're relaxing and releasing all the muscles in the head and face. How do you feel? Take an assessment of where is the energy in your body. I can tell you right now that the majority of the energy in my body is from my like the top part of my chest and up. Like my head is just like throbbing, like whoa, whoa, whoa. Like them like in them old cartoons with Tom and Jerry, you know what I mean? Like Tom go to try to hit Jerry with a hammer, but he hit his own thumb. And the thumb sitting there pulsing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's how my head felt for like the next 20 seconds after we stopped. But I'm there very much more alert. So use that whenever you need to be more alert. You know what I mean? You need to be, replace it with coffee sometimes. You don't always have to go to coffee and energy drinks. Sometimes this is all that's needed. Don't got to keep on draining your adrenals. So use this. It's a powerful technique. Powerful technique. So practice that at least once a day, every day until the next lesson. That way, like we talked about at the very beginning, you can become very proficient with this exercise and you can add it to your toolbox of metaphysical tools, mental tools that you have. So this is a way like what's happening. The reason the energy is so much there is because that's when you were tensing and relaxing. And like I said, energy moves off of intention. That tension, energy moves off of intention. That tension that you created in your head was telling the medulla oblongata where to send the energy. Right? Because remember last week when we talked about that outer energy, the energy comes in, goes to the medulla oblongata, and that's like the radio transmitter, which is directing the energy where to go throughout the whole rest of the body. Because the medulla oblongata is connected to every part of your body. Like that's what I said. That's why it can't be operated on. It's so interconnected and interwoven with everything. Everything. So, that tension is going to tell your body where to send that energy. Your intention, right? Energy moves off of intention. Root word there, tension. So the next exercise is when you're feeling like physically tired. Your body's tired. That was like mentally tired. This one is when you are physically tired. Your body's just tired. You can do this if like your muscles are sore. Just do it with one. Like if your leg is sore, just do it with just the one leg. Or do it with the whole body. However you want. Like I said, take it and run with it, man. Do whatever you want with it. So what you're gonna want to do with that is we're going to just tense and relax the entire body. So still doing the double inhalation, the double exhalation. Still doing the tensing with the double inhalation and the relaxing with the double exhalation. But now we're going to do it with our hands, our arms, our shoulders, chest, our back, our abdomen, our legs, our feet, our butt, our neck, our head, our face, the whole body. All right, so let's do it for like 2 minutes now. So double inhalation and tense the whole body, double exhalation and relax. And as you're doing it, try to find parts that you aren't tensing. You know what I mean? Like it'll be, of course, like our arms and legs are going to be pretty quick. We'll get those right away. But like, focus on the other parts of your body you may not have been tensing. And just do that for 2 minutes. But before we start, this time, let's just take an assessment on how we feel. How does our body feel? Where's the energy at in our body right now? Where do we feel the energy? Do we have any pain anywhere right now? What's the level of that pain, 1 to 10? Where's the source of that pain? Where's that pain coming from? Where's it going? Where's the energy swirling in the body? What kind of emotions are we feeling right now? Take an assessment of what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. Where is that emotion? I mean, no, no, no. You got lightheaded. You ain't doing it wrong. You're just breathing. That's where you're sending the energy. You ain't doing it wrong. Keep going. So we're only doing it for 2 minutes. I suggest doing it for 10 minutes as you practice this. So let's go ahead and do it for like 2 minutes, minute and a half, 2 minutes. So tensing the whole body and releasing that tension. So now what do you feel? Now, how do you feel? The same feeling I was feeling in my head, I feel all over. I feel up and down my arms, in my legs down to my knees. So maybe I wasn't tensing the bottom half of my legs too well. Maybe I wasn't tensing my feet too well. So I'm not feeling it so much there. Or it might have just been that we only did it for 2 minutes. We didn't do it for the full 5 minutes. Because you're having this time around, we're not pumping just the head with energy. We're pumping the whole body with energy. So if you're tired, if you wake up one morning and you only got 4 hours of sleep, only got 4 hours of sleep. This is something you can do to help rejuvenate and revitalize your body. So anybody who's taken the Dream Interpretation Masterclass, who all's gone through the whole thing, put like a thumb up or a little drop it in the chat. Who's gone through the whole thing? Okay, beautiful, beautiful, excellent, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so as you know through there, one of the things we talked about is a bed, right? Bed represents a tool for assimilation. We're just talking about dreams in general. We'll get to that. But a bed represent in the universal language of the mind represents uh, assimilation, because when we go to sleep at night and dream, we are assimilating our life experiences, right? And you'll remember that when we do that, that is the source of the rejuvenation and revitalization. You know, whether you even someone who doesn't remember their dreams, hey, they still off in the astral plane doing work, doing something. Might not be productive, might not. I mean, it's still gonna be productive, but it might not be the most fun thing, maybe, or maybe it is. But whether they remember it or not, they're still doing something. They're still working through and processing through and assimilating the experiences that they had throughout the day. And so the better you can be at doing that, the better you can be at interpreting your dreams and applying the message, the more rejuvenated and revitalized you're going to be. That's why bed represents assimilation, because it does that. Dreams, working with your dreams will help you to do that, will help you to be more rejuvenated and revitalized. That is one of the greatest ways to be rejuvenated and revitalized, through working with your dreams, right? Because just like, hold on, let me bring it up. I should have put this slide in. Well, I didn't. One second. Okay. Boom. All right. Everybody can see that? Oh, there it goes. Now it's loaded. Everybody can see that? Okay. Excellent. Excellent. So our our conscious mind down here, right? Hold on, let me get this new slide up for everybody. Okay. Our conscious mind down here is, remember, the duty of the conscious mind is to create life experiences in order to learn from them, right? So we go through life every day using energy, right? The energy that we have, we use throughout the day within all of these experiences that we have. Even if you're just sitting on the couch watching TV or playing video games or on the phone scrolling all day long, you're still using energy. You're still creating experiences. You can still learn from those experiences. And so you're using up that energy. The purpose of the conscious mind, remember, the duty is the aggressive and the purpose is the receptive. So you're using the energy, the aggressive. The purpose, the receptive, is then to learn from those life experiences and feed those understandings of self, life, the universe, and creation to the subconscious mind to make a permanent part of the self. Taking those understandings and adding them to that storehouse of wisdom within the subconscious mind. That's why the power of the subconscious mind is intuition, because we can intuitively access that storehouse of wisdom that we've built up through not just this lifetime, but thousands of lifetimes, right? So that's the receptive. We are then receiving that knowledge. We're then receiving those understandings. We're then receiving what we learn from those life experiences, right? That's why food represents knowledge, because we're feeding our soul. You know what I mean? Literally, we are feeding our soul. We are taking the energy that we spent to have the life experiences, and we are rejuvenating and revitalizing ourselves by feeding and adding that knowledge from what we spent our life experiences on and feeding it back into ourselves. So we are recycling the energy we spent and bringing it back into ourselves. That's the whole image of the Ankh. You know what I mean? The whole image of the Ankh is recycling that energy back into yourself. A lot of people, if you really look and listen, most people talk about the male and female principle of it. That's exactly what's going on here, right? Like this diagram here. Remember, we talked about it. The diagram here is two halves to a whole. The reason this line at the top is sticking out is because it's to delineate that the conscious and subconscious mind are two halves to one whole. And the superconscious mind is whole amongst itself, right? The male and female principles that are working together to create that recycling of energy is the aggressive male conscious mind and the receptive female subconscious mind. You know what I mean? And if we really want to get deeper into that and how that relationship works and how it's so perfectly mirror the physical relationship of male and female that we have to create and understanding how the conscious subconscious minds create, then we can go back to the visualization course, go back to the week one of the dream interpretation masterclass to really understand the structure of the mind even deeper to better understand those principles. But for anyone who's gone through that, this is familiar, this is making sense. It's clicking even more. It's clicking even deeper. It's giving you a new layer of understanding with it. And so that's why it is recycling in. It's rejuvenating because when you woke up, you spent that that day giving out the energy. And now that you have rejuvenated, you've learned the lessons, you're bringing it back into yourself. You're feeding that energy back into yourself. You're feeding your soul. And so that's the mechanics of why the dream interpretation is so powerful for rejuvenation, revitalization, because that's helping you to go even deeper and within the conscious mind, be aware of how to proceed further throughout the next day on what you're needing to learn most from the life experiences you've already had, how to set up your life experiences that you're about to have to position yourself the best way to understanding things and revitalizing your energy. That's like why a kitchen in a dream represents that. We talked about food. It's all about the knowledge because, food, our teeth break them down so that our system can digest it. We extract the nutrients from the food, and then the waste we let go of. We were just talking about the waste earlier today when we first logged on, the question Kez had. And so, just like that whole process, we break down our life experiences. So teeth will represent the ability to really break down your life experiences so that we can digest what happened, so that we can swallow what happens, we can stomach what's occurred within our life. And when we do that, it's easier for us to find the positive. It's easier for us to find the benefit of that life experience. Maybe we had some traumatic life experience happen. But when we really take the time to break it down and assess it, it's easier to extract those nutrients. It's easier to pull that from the life experience. It's easier to be grateful that it happened because without it, we wouldn't have those nutrients, right? And so then once we go through that process, once we've processed the food, once we've gone through that process, then it becomes easier to let go of the waste. You know what I mean? Let go of the part of the experience that has no value to us, has no purpose to us. If we hold on to it, it'll be toxic to the body, just like we talked about earlier. So literally, you have to let that shit go, release. So that's why a bathroom will represent release. But what I was getting to is the kitchen. The reason the kitchen in the universal language of the mind represents what it does is because instead of your life experiences already happening and then you assessing what can I learn from them, you instead, like, the kitchen is all about preparing the food to eat, right? Versus like going to a restaurant, the food's already prepared for you. Like the day's already happened. I've already experienced the day. I can just like learn from what's already occurred. But now moving forward, if I have a purpose for each experience, then I am engineering. I'm putting the ingredients together. I'm putting the recipe together for what food I'm going to eat. You know what I mean? So I'm going to, in this next experience, I'm about to go to work today. Let me make sure my purpose for work today is to have a deeper understanding of communication, of being more receptive in my communication, because I talk a lot. I love to talk. I love to express my thoughts. I have an Aquarian moon, so I love to tell people what I know. You know what I mean? And so because of that, I feel I need a little more balance and becoming better at being more receptive in how I communicate. So let me have that be the purpose of the day. Let me have that be the nutrients of the day. The food that I eat today is understanding receptivity and communication, listening, really, really receiving that person's thoughts, that person's words, because their words are just what they're using to try to convey to me the image within their mind. So let me get better, because if I can get better at receiving them, then I can get better at receiving the image and don't even need the rest of the words. That's just that then is being in the kitchen. You do that, you're gonna have a dream of being in the kitchen the next night. You know what I mean? Because you was in the kitchen cooking them up. so so that's very, very powerful. Very powerful. Dreams are very powerful in that way. Rejuvenation, rejuvenation and revitalization. All right, so let's get back to our previously recorded program. All right, everybody can see this? Everybody can see this? All right, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So, a quick question here. What is God? What is the Creator? What is the Most High? Source. Many different names, but what is it? And there are four ways that in which I use to understand this infinite essence, essentially. For all of these things to be what they are, for it to be God, it has to have these four qualities: infinite being, omnipresent, I mean everywhere; infinite intelligence, all knowing; infinite manifestation, the creator of all things; and infinite energy, the source of all things. Infinite energy. Energy is infinite. Energy is infinite. There is no lack. There is no limitation. It is infinite. You know, we feel like we understand what infinity means, but it is impossible for our conscious minds to truly conceive what infinity really means. That's why, like, you know, that's why like Egyptians and Native Americans and things have all, a lot of people say they have different gods. No, no. In order to help them to wrap their minds around, God, source, creator, the most high, the great spirit, they personify individual aspects of it. The part of the most high, the part of the great spirit that brings the sun. Thank you. Ra, I thank you. I adore you. I'm so grateful for you. So grateful for the source of energy that you bring to me every single day. The sky, so beautiful. The birds, the trees, the water. I mean, all the essence of it. Nature itself, Mother Earth, the galaxies, the stars, have different gods to help focus on this aspect of the creator. I'm going to provide some, energy and some relationship with and things. But I'm bringing this up mainly to help you to understand that energy is infinite. There is no lack of energy. So if you ever feel like you don't have enough energy, you may not be utilizing enough, but you actually definitely always have more than enough available at all times. One thing I did last time I was in Vegas. Let me share you a story. Last time I was in Vegas, I me and my buddies went to go play poker. Right, I go to sit down, and I go to sit at a different table. They were all playing like a 1-3, and I mean in Vegas, I mean you play 1-3, like the stakes are $1 and $3. It's gonna be real, real ratty. So it means it's gonna be just like guys are gonna play with money as if it's monopoly money. So it's not really gonna be an aspect of poker. Anyways, so I played 3-5. So that means that I was at a table by myself, even though all my friends went. Well, I was sitting there, and after the first two hands, I said, "Hold on, man, what am I doing?" Like this is metaphysics all day. This is one of the reasons why I love poker because it gives me a controlled environment. Being a metaphysician, a scientist, I like to have controlled environments to practice different things. So visualization is one of those things. Energy is one of those things because the chips are just energy. Money is just energy. So where's the energy flowing? Where's the energy flowing with each hand? You know, I want the energy to, obviously, if I'm sitting down, put my money up, I want the energy to flow to me. You know what I mean? So this is what I did. And I'm saying this story just to explain to you the fact that there is infinite energy. There's always energy available. So I'm sitting at this table in the middle of Las Vegas, in the middle of the strip at Caesar's Palace, and I just start in my mind, like I said, energy moves off of intention. So I don't need to actually feel the energy and know where it's at. I just have to have the intention and hold the intention. So what I did was I expanded my attention throughout the whole entire city, right? And we can talk about that and share that as an exercise and do that at a later time. Okay, you remember this story. Great. So I guess I did share it in the visualization. I was wondering if I did or not. But I did, and I expanded it throughout the whole entire city. And so if you I don't know, maybe it wasn't in one of the visualizations, but it was in one of the Q&As. But yeah, if you remember this story, then obviously it's in one of the recordings we have available to us, to the mentees. So it is a good one. It was $3,000 worth of good. But anyways, I only sat down with like $500. Uh, it's $5 was the top. So to have 100 blinds, $500. And so, anyways, I just expanded my attention throughout the whole entire city. And I didn't really say to any person or to myself really. I just said, I exclaimed, I made an exclamation out into the universe that all of the extra energy that's not being utilized, I'm not wanting to take energy from other people. I'm not wanting any energy that's already being used right now by somebody. That's fine. I don't need that energy. But I just am going to sift through all of that and all of the extra energy that's not being used within the entire city. I'm going to bring into my being, right? And so did that for a couple, like 5 or 6 breaths. I didn't do it the whole time. I don't want to look goofy and scare people off, or hit people to what I'm doing. Then they scared to make bets because oh shit, he's breathing heavy. He's pulling the chips to him somehow. I don't fucking know what's going on, but it's some magic. You know what I mean? Like we talked about earlier, the magician. It's only like I said in my song. Hey, they only call it magic when you ain't the magician. Because the magician understands the magic. It ain't magic to the magician. He understands what he's doing. But to the other people watching it, it's magic. Oh man, he breathing like this again. Chips about to go to him. Let me not put him in the pot. So I only did it a little bit, but in my mind, I continued to do this exercise where I expanded my attention out and drew all of the extra energy within the entire city of Las Vegas to my being. Right. Then what do I do with it? No, I don't do anything with it. Except I don't hold on to it. Except I just then send it out up my spine, up my abdomen, through my head, out my head, and offer it up to the Most High. Offer it up to the divine. I mean, offer it up to my divine self. So the energy is flowing. It's just a flow, right? Like a river. You know what I mean? Like if a river pulls up and has nowhere to go, if it gets dammed up, then it's not really flowing very well, right? So the energy isn't flowing. So I needed the energy to flow. I didn't need the energy to just come to me and accumulate and gobble up. And I needed to flow. And then the chips started flowing to me. I was getting hands I ain't never even had before in my life. You know what I mean? I was getting four of a kinds, straight flushes, like straight flush. I ain't never had a straight flush. It was wild, man. Just the way it was happening. Even people at the table like, oh my God, are you I can't believe it. You know what I mean? And I sat there, I don't know how long. I was only planning on sitting down like 2 hours or so. And then me and my friends, 2 or 3 hours, when me and my friends were going to dinner. Next thing I know, by the time I'm done, it's $3,000 of chips in front of me. And it was like 8 different sessions of people sat down, lose their chips to get up, walk away. More people sat down, lose their chips, get up, walk. It's Vegas. They got endless people waiting to throw away their money. Hey, throw it to me. And then by the time I left, my friends already ate dinner and was gone. It just time was passing by. But that's all I did. So I'm just sharing that story to let you know there's infinite energy at all times. I didn't take no energy from nobody. You know what I mean? Those people sat down freely, gave their money away. They was going to either give it to somebody else or give it to the casino. And let me hop on the back of that whale and get a little bite to eat. But so I use that And so now through that controlled environment and that experience, I can then take that same knowledge and understanding because I've created experience for myself. I know what I'm capable of. I know what is true and what is possible, and then I can do it in other portions of my life. I mean, in other areas of my life. And so, yeah, practice it, try it out. Yeah. All right. So we are next slide here. Life force energy, the inner life force energy that we've been talking about, combined with our outer life force energy, coupled with our consciousness, is what sparks our human intelligence. That's what makes the difference between us and other, animals and things. We have the capacity to imagine. That is the source of our creation. I mean, our power of imagination. Who remembers what power of the conscious mind is? It was just on the screen a little bit ago. Who remembers what the power of the conscious mind is? Is writing something with his finger. Reasoning, exactly. Treasure, reasoning. So who knows what the three keys to reasoning are? What are the three keys to reasoning? I'm lip reading. It looks like he's got it. Memory, attention, imagination. Right. So your imagination is one of the keys to the power of your conscious mind. Your imagination, the whole story of Jesus Christ is talking about your imagination, your image making capability. Go back and read the Bible and replace the word Jesus with imagination. See what you understand. But anyways, now that we talked about last week the outer source of life force energy, and now this week the inner source of life force energy. When you combine the two of those and couple them with your intelligence, that is when things become powerful. That is when you become powerful. Remember, energy moves off of intention. So, with those two things understood, we can know that the intelligent direction of energy is what separates a self-directed metaphysician from an ego-driven individual. I mean, I wasn't sitting there doing them chips like that just to have a cool story to tell, just to garner $3,000. I didn't care what money came. After the first pot hit and I doubled my money, I was cool. I was cool. You know what I mean? But it kept happening because I kept doing it. My true purpose there was to understand myself more, to understand the mechanics of manifestation more, to understand the universal laws more, the universal principles, the universal truths that I'd already learned, that I'd already practiced, to sharpen and hone the skills I already had and already practiced. I mean, I can tell you another story in Vegas when I'm sitting there at the roulette table. I usually would only play just either black or red, odd or even. I'd play the outside. I never play what's called the inside, all the actual numbers. But one time I was sitting there. This is a couple of trips before in Vegas. I'm sitting there at the roulette table and I'm watching this other guy. He's playing all these different things, man. He's down to his very last chips, and he had like 4 stacks of chips, and he's just spread them out through all these numbers. Only one of them hit, and then that lady gave him a shit ton of chips. I'm like, God damn, that's how you can hit like that. So I started playing, but my mind got away from what I was doing and just got intrigued into the fascination of the game and the trying to understand the game and how it works and things. And then the same thing happened. It clicked. It just didn't happen right away. It happened like 30 minutes in. And I realized, oh shit, what am I doing, man? I understand these things. I understand visualization. Let me just visualize the number. Okay, 13 ain't hit. 13 is the most powerful number in the universe, one of my favorite numbers. Instead of spreading all this money out, I put a big ass stack of money on 13. And one dude looked over at me like with this little look like, hey, what's he doing all of a sudden? He put one chip on top of my 13. He's like, just in case he do know something or something happens. Let me put my one chip on top of his stack. And then I closed my eyes and I visualized the number 13 hitting, the ball touching it, looking at the screen, the number 13 on the screen, the lady, hearing the lady call out 13. And then me getting the chips, the feeling of joy and happiness and excitement, all the whole table screaming, oh, you know what I mean? I visualized all of that, right? She spins the ball, but I remember as you remember from when we went over the visualization course. What's the last step of visualization? 6 steps to visualization. Does anybody remember the last step of visualization? What's the last step? Telling someone, no, what's that? I can't do what you say. Letting go. Exactly. Release. Release. Yeah. That's what I thought you were saying, Kez. Exactly. Release. I'm so glad y'all staying with this, retaining this information. Release. So I retained the information. I knew release was the last step of visualization. So a couple of my friends was there. The one of them that was there, he wasn't playing. You know, he was just standing there watching. So after I did all that visualizing, the ball's spinning in the little thing, I just turn around and start talking to him. Hey, what do you want to do after this? You hungry or something? And I try to get some kind of conversation going to where I can get fully engulfed and engaged in this conversation. And then I'm so engrossed in the conversation that it isn't even until I hear everyone else holler that I realize that the number's already been hit. And I turn around and 13 was hit. $900. Boom. You know what I mean? And at that time, I only walked up to the table with 100. I mean, I was already up 200, but like whenever I play roulette, I just go with 100. And then as I make anything over 100, that goes into my pockets where I'm just always sitting there with 100. So I was up a whole 100, but I still only had 100 on the table at 900. But anyways, uh, everybody's excited, and then my friend turns around, or he had, who I asked about the dinner, and he asked me, "Oh my God, how did you do that?" And I told him, I said, "Look, this is exactly what I did," and I shared everything with you all. He said, "Let's do it again," right? And so we do it again. I said, "What number should we do it with this time?" I forget what it was, 27 or 21 or something, or 21 or 23. Those are two other numbers I play every time. I was like, "Oh, these ain't hitting. Well, let's play this one." I forget which one it is. I'll make it up. It was 21, right? Put on 21. And for some reason, I feel like it's 27. Anyways, we'll just okay. I'll make it up again. 27, and put it all on 27, right? And so then as the ladies, everybody else is making their bed, the ladies getting everything together and get ready to spin the ball, I'm explaining to them what we do. Okay, this is what we do. And so we I'm sitting there explaining to him what to do to visualize. Let's visualize this. Let's visualize seeing it on the screen. Let's visualize seeing it, the wheel spinning around with the ball sitting inside of it. Let's hear the lady's voice say the number. Let's hear everybody hooting and hollering, and even more money because we just won a big ass chunk of money back to back, right? and and then as soon as I get done explaining all of that to him, turn to him and I say, "Hey, you said you wanted to go. I forget where he said he wanted to go. Said you want to go over here. What do you have you been there before? What do you like from there?" And I'm trying to get a conversation going with him, but I'm realizing I didn't tell him the last step. And also it was a moot point anyways, because he hasn't conditioned his mind into being disciplined enough to be able to let it go. You know what I mean? He's so emotionally charged and attached to this experience and wanting to be a part of creating it. He don't even know how to let it go. At this point, I've had years of really like practicing letting things go, like literally creating small things and visualizing small things just to practice letting it go and things like that. Anyways, I turn and I'm trying to, and I'm noticing it happening as I'm talking to him. He like keeps on looking back. He can't let it go, right? And so then I just go ahead and look down because I can't let it go either. Because I mean, he was my muse to be able to get me fully escaped from the experience. Because the part of letting it go, you detach from it, right? So your visualized image can then leave your mind. It can leave your subconscious mind, and it can manifest. And so that's why you need to release so that you can let it go from within the mind and it can come out and manifest into the physical. And so I look over and the ball is going through, and then you know how it pop, pop, pop. It literally falls right into the 27. And me and him start to holler, and at the very last second, jumps up and over right next to the very number right next to it. It literally goes bounce, 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 lands in the 27, and then barely hops over and goes. It's like when you're watching Wheel of Fortune and it just bink, lands on bankrupt, or you watching uh, Price is Right and they spinning the wheel and they got that $100 or $1 about to win that $1,000, and at the last second it just dink, it goes into the 15 cent or whatever. That's exactly what it did. And I'm like, oh my God. And he looks at me, oh my God, did you see that? We almost did it. And I said, yeah, no, I forgot to tell you the last step. We ain't let that shit go. But anyways, just telling you, I like to do those things to practice the metaphysics. It wasn't ego driven. I wasn't doing that so that I had this cool story to tell or to go tell everybody. I mean, I did go tell everybody else. That wasn't my purpose. You know, and so when you have the intelligent direction of energy, because our energy is always flowing, our energy is always moving. But when we can direct our energy with intelligence, that is going to be what separates a self directed metaphysician from an ego driven individual. All right. Now, the Dantian. Here we go. We already got 2 exercises. Now we got some real juice now. We got some real juice now. I talked about the Dantian before, right? So we have the upper dantian, the middle dantian, the lower dantian. We only need to be concerned with the lower dantian. We don't need to be concerned with the others. This exercise in particular, only need to be concerned with the lower dantian. Now, what these are energy centers. They are not really energy centers. They're energy reservoirs. Your chakras are the energy centers: major chakras, minor chakras. And so energy reservoirs are different because they're like containers that hold and restore energy. It's like like a water reservoir or a water tower. A water tower with 3 layers. We only got to worry about the lower one, filling up the lower. Once you fill up the lower one and it gets full, it'll automatically start overflowing to filling up the middle, then overflowing to fill up the upper. Most of us adults in this country, in this American society, our energy reserves are depleted. We don't have enough energy to do nothing. I mean, we lack energy. Oh, I don't want to go out and do nothing with these people. I had the energy earlier, but this is later when it's scheduled to do it. I don't feel like I mean, kids ain't like that. Kids is their energy centers is full. Their energy reservoirs are full. You know what I mean? Until they get to a point where it's zapped and they don't know how to rejuvenate and refill them, or something traumatic happens that something else zaps their energy. Or for some of us, what happens is our willpower is so weak, so we have no willpower to ward anything off, and we have other things that attach to us to take from our source of energy, so they deplete us of energy. I mean, you gotta use your willpower to cast aside your own demons. You gotta take care of your demons. I mean, obliterate them if they don't deplete. But anyways, we have these energy reservoirs that fill up with energy. So right here on the right hand side, we have the different meridians. Not the different meridians. The 2 main meridians going up your back is the governing meridian, and then coming down the front is the functional meridian, or governing channel and function channel. And then on this image, it has the lower dantian, middle dantian, and upper dantian. But it also shows you, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the brow chakra, and the crown chakra, and then your perineum as well. But I really like this image also because it has it out the front and out the back. Most people, when they're working with chakras, really they don't really have an understanding and a knowing of it because they haven't created an experience for themselves with working with their chakras, which we'll get into next week, the chakras. But they only have a knowledge or information of. So most people feel like the chakras are just something in the front, right? But they are transformers. They are vortexes, essentially. So there is a front and a back to each of them, meaning they function differently, they operate differently, they resonate at different frequencies. We'll get into all of that. And so I really like this image because of that. But at the same time, don't let that distract you. Mainly, we're just looking at this outer yellow line, this circuit here. That's what we're going to be utilizing, right? So we're not going to do the double inhalation and double exhalation. What we are going to do is just a long, deep breath in and a long, deep breath out. Inhale and an exhale. That's it. Next slide here. Okay, so I put these arrows here. What we're going to be doing, this orange arrow at the bottom here, the bottom right, we're going to be pulling the energy from the earth down below us, up through our feet and our legs. It's going to connect with the governing channel, which is in the center of your body, so the spine. So we're looking at it from the side, but if we were looking at it from the front, it would be the very center, the very middle of your body, right? Like where your belly button and spine is. The spine in the back and the belly button in the front. So up your spine, up the governing channel. Remember, we just looked at the governing channel. And this is all through the inhale. Inhaling up the energy up from the earth, up through the legs, through the spine, all the way to the top of the head, to the crown. And then that's where the apex of the breath changes from the inhale to the exhale. And then we exhale going down the functional channel, down and into the lower dantian. And the entry point is right here, just below the belly button, right? So that's where the energy is going to enter into. And so all you do, you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to worry about the middle dantian, you don't have to worry about the upper. Don't worry about it. And do this for like 15 minutes a day. We're just going to do it for a couple minutes. And do this for like 15 minutes a day. Do it at any time. I mean, you can do it at any time at all. You standing in line waiting, you sitting around watching TV, you reading a book, you eating food. You can do it anytime. You sitting in class. You know what I mean? Maybe yeah. Make sure you're paying attention to the teacher or instructor. Don't let me get your education off course. But you know, you can do it anytime. Is what I'm trying to say. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna inhale. You don't have to inhale through the mouth or breathe through the mouth like we did before. I'm just kind of trying to make a sound so that you can hear the inhale, so it can really be conveyed. So inhale, pulling the energy up all the way to the crown of the head, then exhaling. And when the energy, because energy moves off intention, right? So all you need to do is have your imagination, put your attention. So like right now, to give everyone an experience, in case some people are like, I can't do this. What is he talking? How do we do this? Everybody right now, close your eyes, right? Let's close your eyes and put your attention on your foot. Put your attention on your right foot. Put your attention on the big toe of your right foot. Now put your attention on your left kneecap. Now put your attention on your right shoulder. Better yet, put it on your right shoulder blade in the back. Put your attention on your nose. Put your attention on your eyes. Move your attention to your brain. Feel your brain. Put your attention on your brain. Right? Okay. So all we have to do is move our attention. That's it. That's all we have to do. The energy moves off of intention. So when we use our attention, we can do this. And that's why I was saying earlier, the keys to success, the concentration, strengthening your concentration will make you better at this. You know what I mean? Just like it's a mental, like I say it all the time, concentration, visualization, willpower, these are all mental muscles. And just like physical muscles, they can strengthen, right? So just like, LeBron James, he still goes to the gym and strengthens his muscle because that's going to allow him to be better at basketball. He's going to be able to use that strength that he's built to do something. You know what I mean? He could be just as talented, but have never tried to strengthen his muscles. He wouldn't be nowhere near as good. If LeBron James was built like me, but you know what I'm saying. If LeBron James was built like Screech, but still had all the talent and knowledge and awareness, he wouldn't be nowhere near as good. He'd be Steve Nash. No, but anyways, what I'm trying to say is using your time to strengthen these mental muscles will make you more proficient at exercises such as this. So we're just going to move our attention up our legs, put your attention on the earth, put your attention on the center of the earth. Me, everybody put their attention on the center of the earth. You feel something? You feel a pulling? Feel a connection? I do. Earlier we were putting our attention on parts of ourselves, so it's easy to understand how we could feel that part. And put your attention on something outside of yourself. Put your attention on a loved one. Put your attention on a loved one who has passed. Put your attention on them. Give them your attention. Give them all of your attention. Now give them a little bit of love. Okay, so we're going to put our attention on the earth, bring our attention up through our legs, up our spine, up to the top of the head, all during the inhale. Then on the exhale, we're going to move our attention down the center of our face, down our chest, and into the dantian, the lower dantian. That's all we're going to do. Inhale, bringing the energy up. Exhale, taking the energy down, feeding it into and then we're just going to create this flow of energy and continue to fill this reservoir. All right, so let's do it for like 2 minutes. These are long, slow, deep breaths. Pull the energy up your spine to the top of the head, and send the energy down, feed it into the lower dantian. Inhale, pull the energy up. Exhale, send it down into the dantian. Pull the energy up. Exhale, send it down into the dantian. All right, so that was only like 1 minute, but do that for like 15 minutes. Do that for like 15 minutes. And just like those other two exercises, do this every single day till the next part three. Just every single day. In part three, we're going to get into the chakras, and it's going to be much. Yeah, I'm going to briefly touch on, this is what this chakra is. This is, what it looks like, on the inner levels. This is, I'm also going to show you what it looks like etherically. This is what it does, but also I'm going to show you how to, you don't really open or close them, but how to revert, send the direction for the flow of energy, because they're, we'll get into it, but their energy center, they transform physical energy into non-physical energy and non-physical energy into physical energy. So one goes one way and one goes the other. So how, working with it and why you would want to do one way and the other way. The energy that is changing, because like the root is with we're transforming earth energy, the sacral chakras, transforming solar energy, sacral or solar plexus chakras, transforming energy with other people, heart chakra, loving energy, so on and so forth. So we'll get into all of that and different exercises to do with those, in addition to ones I've already shared, but also ones in addition to that, and what to do with them. So yeah, we'll get into that, and then the week after that, we're going to get into major, minor chakras, and minor chakras, and a powerful exercise to do with that. On top of them, with that, one of the major minor chakras is your hand chakras. So working with that, but we're going to go into, I shared in different TikToks on YouTube the hand chakras, how to open them up, and that whole story, and we'll include that video in there. But we're also going to get into then what to do with the hand chakras and the other parts of your body, and really going deeper into using your hands for healing yourself. You can use it for healing other people too. We'll get into that, but mostly for yourself things. And so we will get it. We'll get into all of that, and then there will be an additional kind of wrap up of Life Force Energy, part 5, that will get into just more just knowledge, information, and general stuff. And I might have another exercise. Actually, I will have another exercise for that, which I've already shared with some of you, all the bounce technique and things. So we'll get into that. And then, like I said, after we wrap up this Life Force Energy, because with the mentees, man, I got to keep on giving y'all more and more to continue to grow deeper and deeper. So I think what we'll get into next after that is interpreting or decoding the book of Revelation in the universal language of the mind, so that we can all understand exactly, precisely, specifically what each and every symbol within the whole entire book of Revelation is talking about, and why it's in there, and the universal knowledge and truth. I mean, all the chakras are talked about in there. The seven churches are the seven levels of the mind. The 7 candlesticks are the 7 chakras. 7 seals are the 7 doorways into those levels of mind, so on and so on. No, this is not every Wednesday. This is just, you guys are just getting a inside access to 1 week of what goes on all the time for the mentees. But anyways, after that, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get into lucid dreaming and astral projection, and detailed steps into getting into that, um, and shamanic journeying. So with that coming up and being in the future, be sure to continue to be writing down your dreams every single night as much as you can, interpreting your dreams and applying the message, because that is going to set up the foundation for you even to be able to implement the exercises that's taught and the knowledge that's taught in that course, to have success. So it's going to be the core key to your success in that sense, is by writing down and working with your dreams, if you haven't been starting now. So, any questions, thoughts, comments to share? No, Kez pencil been burning holes in between whoever he's dusting in chess. We're gonna have to get a game going sometime, man. I love chess. I just never have nobody to play with. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, we got to set something up. Ooh, he rubbing his hands. Uh-oh, he want the smoke. Okay, okay, you gonna bring it, you gonna teach me something, okay. Time for me to learn, huh? Okay. Let's set it up. Yeah, any other questions or thoughts or anything? All right, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
go
have a
ahead.
quick,
Yeah, go ahead.
and I was trying to as we were going over the chakras just like a few minutes ago,
Hmm.
I I kind of learned that just like how our organs are here to keep our body in a certain way for us to be alive, the same things with our chakras. And I'm just trying to figure out specifically what that way is. Like if I can dumb it down to a few words, so then I can write that on my
Yeah.
paper notes.
Wait, say that
So
again.
what I'm trying to figure out is the purpose of our chakras.
Oh, okay. We'll get into that next week. That's next week's material.
Mhm.
But the purpose of the chakras, real quick, is to transform, because they're energy transformers. Chakra is a Sanskrit word that means wheel. So a wheel goes round and round, right? Energy is always moving, rolling round and round. So they're always flowing. So we are physical beings, right? But we're also non-physical beings. And so, like I said, the breath ties the soul to the body, right? So there's a connection. The chakras and minor chakras and major minor chakras are like anchors to anchor our astral body, our soul to our physical body. So they're transformers. They transform non-physical energy into physical energy and physical energy into non-physical energy. You know, your emotions are your thoughts are non-physical energy, right? Your
Yes.
thoughts aren't physical. You can't touch them. They physicalize into things. So part of that transference from non-physical mental energy into physical substance, it has to be a transformation. Same with your emotions. That's just part of the same process, really. But anyways,
Yeah.
we'll get into all of that. Good question.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Right. Anyone else have any questions and thoughts? Right. All right. Well, with that, I'll leave y'all in peace. I'll see you in the Discord chat. I'm gonna try to make sure I get to keep up a little bit better this week with things and moving forward. And then on the dreams, interpreting all the dreams in there and things. Kaz, definitely appreciate and love that you are not only just sharing, you know, and helping other people in that way, but also exercising your understanding of the universal language of the mind, which is helping you to grow also. So love seeing that, and I also appreciate that. Also makes it easier for me to just be able to kind of come in and touch up on the other aspects. So I definitely appreciate it in that way as well. But I love to see it, you know, and everybody else, you know, is even, you know, if you may feel that you aren't as proficient as Kez, don't let that hinder you from also stepping in there. You know, it may and maybe try to step in there before he does, you know, because so then and it may be somebody might drop a whole long ass dream. And it might even be a symbol that you feel they already know, you know, but just drop in there what you saw. Oh, hey, hold on, you said a dog? That's a habitual way you've been using your conscious mind. Okay. You know, I know that one. What do you see a dog representing? You know, and because that's going to help you as you help interpret other people's dreams, it's going to help you get better at interpreting your own. And just practicing working with the language, it's going to help with retaining the language. You know, immersion, you know, the best way to learn a language is immersion. That's going to be your step into immersion, and that's what this Discord chat really helps have us, affords us have kind of a way of doing that. You know, so you know, a lot of you have been here for a while, so it's time to start taking that next step because you're ready for it. You know, and it's only gonna help you get deeper with it. Yeah, yeah. James, no LeBron, King James in the building. Yeah, appreciate it, brother. Good to see you. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. I see you popped in early. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So I'll see you next week, everybody, and I'll catch you in the Discord in between then. And always feel free to reach out if you ever have anything you need, any insight or questions. Peace, peace, peace.